All right, and we're back for another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford. Come right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and Game Source. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to all of our shows. And if you can, please give us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Plus, if you can like, share, subscribe, follow, or do anything that you can to help us out here at the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture every single week with some great podcasts there. So please check that out. Plus also as well, Game Source, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Lakerholics.com. Be part of the conversation today at Lakerholics.com and check out LakerTom's latest article. Plus also as well, Jamie Sweet's latest articles. Those great guys are over there writing what they can about the current Lakers situation. So go ahead and check it out today at Lakerholics.com, including LakerTom's latest article. Lakers get the second chance to do what they should have done last summer. So if you want to read more, it's at Lakerholics.com. Plus also as well, be part of the game time conversation today at LakersBall.com. Joe Soro's there as Ox1947. So please go ahead and give a shout out to him when you're over there at LakersBall.com. Plus also our good friends at the Hoopheads Podcast Network that always give us a great deal of support. They go ahead and share their stuff out there on social media for us. So we truly appreciate everything that they do. And if you can support all this, it is sincerely appreciated. Well, the Lakers' pain continues as we start out on another road trip. This time it starts out in Minnesota. And in Minnesota, after a 60-point game, Karl Anthony Towns and the Minnesota Timberwolves, the highest scoring NBA team that's out there, went into their own home feeling very confident about things. And the Lakers just trying to right the ship in the first quarter because the last couple games has been terrible in the first quarter for the team. Unfortunately, as everyone saw out there, that was not going to be the case as the Lakers once again had a terrible quarter, this time getting outscored 31-17. Anthony Edwards for Minnesota looked outstanding with 27 points. Karl Anthony Towns only did half as good this time as he did his previous game. Oh, but that's still 30 for him. So still a solid game for him. 18 from Patrick Beverley, who was talking all the smack, getting some teas, making LeBron's life miserable. The Lakers, on the other hand, unfortunately, like I said, after that, they tried to make a run, and they eventually did in the early part of the fourth quarter, bring it down to a 25-point lead down to 3. But unfortunately, they just ran out of gas because the hill was too far to climb, and the Lakers end up losing once again, 124-104, their 11th straight loss on the road. Times are not good right now for us. They fall to 29-40. Still ninth place somehow in the Western Conference. But yes, that chance of them getting or keeping the ninth seed is looking a little bit more nervous each and every day. But here today to talk about the game and also as well everything that's going on with the Lakers are two great guests indeed. First up, he is the mastermind behind Lakerholics.com. Be part of the conversation today at Lakerholics.com. Again, check out his great article. The Lakers get a second chance to do what they should have done last summer. It is LakerTom and LakerTom. What are you going to say? I mean, just terrible defense, getting off to the game horribly. Their shooting was absolutely abysmal. I mean, 20% from the three-point area. Their free throws were bad again. Just simply a terrible performance. And unfortunately, LeBron, with only 19 points, couldn't help them out this time around.
You know, Mrs. LakerTom was watching the game with me, and she made a remark around some point in the fourth quarter when everything fell apart. She says, "How come all the other teams seem to have better players than the Lakers do?" And that really says everything about this team right now at this point in time, because it was just an embarrassing start again to the game. The Lakers have a pattern, and the pattern is is they're incredibly consistent at playing terribly. And they start off games with zero offense. I mean, I counted the first 10 shots. They had 2 good shots out of the first 10 attempts in the half. This team has no natural flow. There's no continuity between the players because they haven't played together enough. So nobody knows exactly what everybody else is going to do in a particular situation. And we saw that numerous times in a game when 2 guys would go with one player and leave somebody all alone. But to me, it all comes down to the coach, because I'm still, there are things that you can still accomplish in the remaining 14 or 15 games that we've got. You can find out, for example, does not playing Russell Westbrook or does not starting Russell Westbrook make a difference? You can find out, does firing Frank Vogel make a difference? Can one of those coaches actually get these guys motivated? It's just such a frustrating situation watching what's happening. And you have 2 people to blame in this, and the blame goes because they did not do the things that they were supposed to do based on their jobs. And the first one was Rob Polinka. I don't care whether LeBron James, Jeannie Buss, and the Mormon Tabernacle Choir were rooting for you to go out and trade for Russell Westbrook. You are the general manager. The ball stops with you, and you make the right decision. And that was a wrong decision for all of the reasons that we've driven into the ground since then. And then you have Frank Vogel. I can't imagine a coach at the college or high school or junior youth level watching his team come out and do the same faceplant in the first quarter over and over and over, primarily not only because of poor defense, but mostly because of poor offense, which just sort of dilutes the rest of the team's game. It takes away their confidence. It takes away their energy, their hustle, and so forth. But you got to start by calling out the first 10 plays. We're going to go out and we're going to do these 10 plays. I don't want to see any freelancing. I want to see us execute a play, because your freelance skills as a bunch of players out on the court has not gelled yet and is not going to gel in the next few games. So we better go out there with an intention that we're going to get 3 wide open threes for Malik Monk. We're going to get 2 wide open threes for Carmelo Anthony. We're going to get a clear out drive for LeBron James, or we're going to get him posting up on his guy with 4 guys out in the perimeter. But they need to have some game plan offensively, and they do not have a game plan offensively. And as a result, they spend the entire game working uphill trying to catch up. And I give them credit for the fact that they didn't quit. They haven't quit in any of these games. They keep fighting to come back, but they just don't have the horses to do it. They don't have the coaching staff that's put them in a situation to win. So what do? You just don't blow off these last games. You try to find out some things, some pieces of information that can help you make a better decision when it comes to what you want to do this summer. They should be having major discussions now of what do we want in a coach next year? What kind of a coach do we want? What coaches are out there? They should be thinking about this thing and brainstorming it. And frankly, they should find out right now whether or not there's anything to be had with Phil Handy. I don't care how fair it is to Phil Handy or David Fizdale. Those guys aren't going to turn down a chance to coach the Lakers for 14 games. And let's see whether they can do something, because we can at least find out how much of this problem was the team just turning off on stopping listening to the coach, which it happens, I mean, every parent understands exactly what it is, and anybody who's been a coach and coached kids or adults understands that there's a point where the coach, you've heard it all. You've heard it all from the same guy. You've heard the same threats and the same earnest, motivations to try to get you to play great. And then there's just a point where it doesn't work anymore. It happens with the greatest coaches. And Frank Vogel, this is a situation where there's a lot of people to blame. And all 4 of the people that are primarily to blame in this have something they can do. LeBron James can make up for it by signing that damn extension, so the Lakers know where they stand, and they know that they got him for 2 more years at least, even if he has a player option for 23. Jeannie Buss can let go of the pocketbook and say, okay, we'll pay luxury taxes that anybody else would pay, but we're going to do whatever we can to win, and we'll take back contracts and so forth. And Rich Paul can come out there and he can say, I'll get John Wall I'll get a buyout for John Wall and have him sign with the Lakers for minimum contract. He would be a great addition as a point guard, and we're going to need somebody, especially if we waive and stretch Russ. And then last of all, you've got Rob Polinka. Rob Polinka needs to go out there and he needs to make sure that he gets the most that he can for those 2 draft picks. And he's got to get something for Russell Westbrook, or else he can't use those draft picks on him. He's got to get something. He's got to get either that deal with the Pacers or the deal with the Knicks, some sort of deal that brings back a couple of players that takes and breaks that $47 million single contract into, like, say, 3 contracts that go 2 or 3 years, so we got room to move them and so forth. He needs to get rid of Russ, and he needs to make some deals, and he needs to learn from the mistakes he made. We're too small of a team. We need to have size. We need to have athleticism. You watch what's happening in these games, and the truth is that we've got some good young players, but none of those good young players are stars like Anthony Edwards is, or some of these other young players that we keep running into on some of these other teams. It's going to be a difficult challenge, and we're going to have to be lucky as well as very smart and savvy this summer. And the people that we have making the decisions, unfortunately, are the same people who put us into this situation. Can they learn enough so that we can do the right thing this time and build a lineup around 2 great superstars with 3 great starters instead of, putting all of them $47 million in Russell Westbrook and not having enough money to even build a good bench? We got outplayed. Mrs. LakerTom was right. The other team, in almost every single game we've watched this year, has the better players. That's going to be.
That was, by the way, folks, that was like 2 missed games that he was not on, all pent up, all that frustration penting up. So we're just so glad, LakerTom, that we could go ahead and help you with that. Again, the Lakers Fast Break is now evolving into something a little bit more special here. It's evolving into a vent session. It's a therapy session. Hopefully we are Gerald, providing that for you.
You should talk to Calm. Maybe we can, Joe and I
got to charge by the hour.
Joe and I obviously need to have some Calm, so we would be perfect candidates for Calm commercials.
There you go, indeed. But once again, the Lakers do fall 124-104 after a failed comeback in the 4th quarter. Just terrible shooting once again, horrible defense, and again, just a terrible performance indeed. But here today to also talk about today's game is a man who could be very much right about the future of the Fantastic Four in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse. So we'll go ahead and see if we're going to go ahead and check out that coming up in May. But his comments on our previous episode on Michael Chiklis could end up being true. So we could see another version of the Thing from the past coming forward in an alternate universe. So we'll see what happens there. But he is the man who's actually going ahead and portraying in his tribute to Scott Hall right now. It is Ox 1947. And again, all tributes in respect to the family of Scott Hall on his passing. And really, truly appreciate everything he did for the professional wrestling industry. But getting back to the Lakers, Joe, I see with a little bit of a smile on your face. Hopefully you didn't have too much pain in the Game Time LakersBall.com chat that took place, but with the highest scoring offense that's out there in the NBA, it's just really hard to slow it down with the defense that the Lakers currently have. Hey yo, indeed. Absolutely.
Was the
Are you the bad guy?
I am half the time.
Okay.
I am definitely half the time. It's a subjective thing, but I think I am.
Okay. We'll do a survey. Maybe
I'm smiling and happy because you gotta do what they're doing. You know, that like I saw Malik Monk talking to Anthony Edwards. They're like, hey, yeah, smiling, everyone having a good time, yeah. Seeing AD on the bench, having a good time. Everybody's smiling, having a good time. So I want to smile and I want to have a good time too. And then you see Frank Vogel with his what was it like? It was like this.
His same
And he's
posture.
like, he's doing this, and he's just like things that my wife does when I've angered her, rightfully so. I'm going, what are you talking to the ref for? Why is LeBron talking to the refs? You guys stink. You shouldn't be talking to the refs. Forget about that. I mean, let's just say they made 5 bad calls during the game. Are you scoring on those plays? Or, okay, let's say you did. Okay, we're still losing by 10. So we're trying to find an answer to something that's already been answered. The answer is they don't want to play anymore. And it's quite obvious to the whole world that they don't. And they're just doing what we're doing, which is just waiting for the time to finish. It seems like the Pelicans and Portland don't want to win either. So it's a double whammy to us, because I'm sitting there going, why aren't you guys winning so that we can end the misery? But they're not ending their own misery, or maybe they're ending their own misery. And I'm just trying to see if they could get to the 10. I'd rather get whooped by Minnesota than the Clippers. I'd say the only thing that I'd love to happen, and I know it's just going to be hard for some people to hear, but there needs to be some kind of Kurt Rambis or Mikhail to Kurt Rambis on Patrick Beverley at some point, because that guy just needs it. And I know that people will get suspended for like a month with today's rules, but that guy really needs to get something. And I think that would be the only entertainment we would get. That would be entertainment for me anyways, to get that. I'd be satisfied with that. But we're LakerTom had mentioned about, from top to bottom, what needs to get done. I really don't think anyone thought it would turn out like this. That's why this wasn't something where we knew that Westbrook was suspect, but I don't think anyone knew it would be this bad. And then what it did is it trickled down to everything else. The coaching got worse. AD became more unavailable, and LeBron is sitting there going, "I'm slowly getting away from the greatest of all time spot right now at this point." It's just not. There's nothing else to say anymore. James Worthy was on the telecast on Sportsnet. He even was speechless. Usually he comes up with some basic generic response because that's he's got to do something over there. But even he couldn't say anything anymore, because we've been doing this for 3 weeks now. Every single game, it's the same discussion, because they're doing the same exact thing every game. They're not playing for at least one quarter. They're coming back from 20 to get it to 4, to get it to 6, to get it to 8, and then all of a sudden the other team starts hitting threes, and now it's back up to 16 and 17 and 20. Seriously, it's eerie how weird. Every game has been played the same way. And then it's the laughing and what are you guys doing after tonight? What do you guys want to go get a drink? I know we're in Minnesota, a lot of stuff to do over here, but show us a good time, right? Everybody's happy. Everybody's, young and rich and enjoying their life. And I think the most depressing part, I'd say, if I had to choose, is, are we ever going to get the competitive wall anymore, or is that gone? Am I going to have to be that old man that says, "Oh, remember back in the day, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas"? Is that it? Is that where that's over? We can't even get that in sports, really? Hey, by the way, did we all I know Jamie just got in, but did we all just go to the same closet and pick out the same shirt? What happened here?
I don't know what you're talking about. Mine is gray, but you know what?
Is it
I've
gray?
got my
Wow.
Maui. I've got my Maui shirt on. So,
That's blue.
well, you know what? We're not. It's not a funeral yet, even though we're trying to sound
I
like.
usually wear black. That's my signature color. But I thought again, I want to be happy. Like all the Laker players, they're all happy right now on the bench and
So let's all be
enjoying
happy.
everything.
Yeah. So let's all be happy indeed.
That was great, right? When everybody was hugging and smiling.
Yeah, good.
Blown
Everybody be
out by
happy.
18 points.
Everybody
this is
be
a lot of
happy.
fun. We're all getting
Yes.
paid to suck.
We're still having such a good time. Yes, thank you.
It's just a
But
party.
I do want to thank. So before I get to Jamie, I want to thank so much everybody who checked out our latest YouTube video. That is the highest viewing that we've ever had on YouTube. So I want to go ahead and say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know we got some comments there as well. So truly appreciate everyone that's taken the time to watch us wherever you're at. Facebook, YouTube. We cannot thank you enough for doing so. It is the Lakers Fast Break. Thank you so much to Kim and David for commenting right here on the Facebook comments. There is no defense in the NBA anymore, David's saying. But you know what, David? It depends where you look for it. You got to look harder for it. There's still defense being played, ironically enough, by Dallas, which is being coached by Jason Kidd because they're number 2 right now in the NBA in defense. But if you go look in Boston, unfortunately, for us Lakers fans, we never like to really look at Boston, but they're getting by on their defense right now. So there is a little bit of defense being played in the NBA, but it's not as much, obviously, like you said. But we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But also here today to talk about the game is a good man indeed. He is returning from New York, right there for you. You got to go ahead and check out what he's doing today on his 5 Things articles at Lakerholics.com. It is Jamie. It was Jamie Sweet. So Jamie, I think whenever you're ready, let me know, my friend. You just give me the high sign. But once again, it is the Lakers 124-104. They lose to the Minnesota Timberwolves. You ready to go, Jamie?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get you right here. So, Jamie, another disappointing game. The Lakers just third time in a row they gave up a huge first quarter and just too much to overcome.
I mean, this team isn't capable of playing 48 minutes of competitive basketball. I think they've proven that. It's been one quarter or another all season long. For the first third or so of the season, it was the third quarter. Then it was the second quarter leading into the half. Now it's the first quarter. I don't. Anybody who's expecting differently at this point is, I think, really just kidding themselves. Unfortunately.
But the effort at times, how embarrassing was it earlier? One demonstration of this was when there was a missed shot by Minnesota. And Carmelo Anthony just like trying to reach for the ball and just reaching for the ball like you and I would right now, just reaching over for it. And Patrick Beverley just walking right in front of him, taking it and scoring a layup.
There's a good 2 or 3 of those plays a game. There was the Russ watching basketball while standing about 4 feet from the rim a few games ago, while his teammates were all hustling, trying to corral the rebound. And I forget who it was against. I think Dallas maybe or Houston. I can't remember. This is who we are this season. This is who we are. They've proven it. That they don't need. I wish they would stop trying to prove it. Try to prove something else.
We didn't have 13 more games to prove it.
Oh, they're going to prove it in every single one of them. I guarantee you.
Yeah,
I have no doubt.
They're very consistent.
That's right. They've been consistently terrible all season long.
They've found the formula to losing, and they're not going to let go.
They're sticking with it. They are
the worst
all the way to the end of the
NBA
season.
after the All-Star break.
All the way to 11th
without a
place.
doubt.
And it's going to get Frank fired. Probably won't get Rob
And he
fired.
deserves to be fired.
I honestly, I think the whole house deserves to be cleaned except for the scouting department, to be honest. I don't think anybody should be left untouched.
Well, let me ask you this, because Joe in recent games, and I'm going to bring Joe in here to let me know when you unmute, my friend.
Joe in regards to the YouTube crowd, thanks, YouTube friend, and I'm sorry that misery loves company, but here we all are.
Yes, but YouTube viewers have been awesome, just like you Facebook viewers. But Joe, in recent games, and let's go ahead and transition to this. We all know the Lakers lost and looked terrible for the most part for the game. This is a story that's continuing. But you have been reluctant to go ahead and jump on the train that I initially started, because I'm giving myself credit for it, for an organizational-wide cleansing, starting from the top down. You've been reluctant on that ownership. So I want to ask you your thoughts on that.
Let's talk about that. So we got,
because it's more interesting to talk about than the game.
AEG got $700 million. I don't know if they got it in crypto, but they got $700 million. I'm assuming some of that money can kind of sift over to the bus trust.
Is that upfront over a period of time? Okay,
right. But, being around, when you know someone's getting $700 million in 20 years, you're probably, banks and people that have money are more apt to.
Well, just like the Lakers did when they got the deal for the Lakers network. They've got over a period of time. It's not all up front.
Right. But exactly. So, but when they know they got a guarantee coming, you can borrow against things at that point. So the thing here is.
But remember, AEG does not have the majority ownership of the Lakers.
No, they don't. But again, it's kind of, I'm assuming it comes, they can allocate it a certain way where everyone wins, right? That's how that's done. I think.
AEG wins, that's for sure.
For sure. The first step they have to make.
I wish they would allocate some to us.
Oh well, we'll get there eventually. Our numbers are going up, so I'm pretty sure we're going to be. Something's going to happen there. I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Well, okay. We'll rename it the Crypto.com Arena to the Lakers Fast Break.
I still struggle calling it Crypto.com. I just don't like the .com. I would have preferred just call it Crypto Arena. But anyways, the first step that needs to happen in the summer, and we have to get out of this mode of management and ownership changing. That's not going to happen. We have to accept that.
Well, I didn't say it was not going to happen. I just said it should happen. Can and should are two different things. We all know it's not going to happen, most likely.
Yeah, but again, I don't think that's really the main problem. It's a problem.
It is the main problem.
The main problem is you got to now eliminate the cancer out the team, and then start bringing in a coach that will demand respect. How are you going to bring in a coach that will demand respect from two players that really don't have? LeBron has leadership skills, and he has leadership skills.
Well, you talk about cancer. Let me just make an analogy on this. Cancer. If you're talking about a cancer, do you not try to stop the thing that's giving you the cancer? Are you just going to go ahead and try and cut the cancer out and still continue to smoke cigarettes?
Well, Rob and Jeannie did pretty well before this year. I don't know why you would think that they can't redo what
Rob's decision making since the championship, as LakerTom can attest to, my evaluations over the course of the past year as we've seen.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
If we don't have let's just switch Westbrook, Monk, and Reeves for Caruso, Kuzma, and KCP. Does this team? Are you telling me those three players really sunk this that much?
No, but then again, you would still have a lot more than that with the money that you tied into Westbrook to go ahead and buy or get or trade for other players.
We would have had to have traded for somebody because we were already over the cap, right?
Yeah, but you're talking about the $47 million or $44 million this year, $47 next year.
Right, but that the reason why that was able to come our way was because we traded contract for contracts, and
KCP and
we were able to make that
and
trade.
Also Montrezl Harrell.
It wasn't like we were going to be able to go find three $15 million players.
No, and I'm not going to say with those guys we were still going to be a championship team, but the outlook would probably be better than 11 games under 500.
I think an important thing to look at, and this is a perfect point to make it, is we gave up three guys and a first round pick, remember, in order to get Westbrook. So those three players, if we could turn around and get, Buddy Hield and Brogdon from the Pacers, or if we could get, three good guys from three quality players with smaller contracts from the Knicks, maybe four if you include Cam Reddish and so forth, you're almost back at the same spot you were last summer. Now, those trades have to have certain things happen that the Lakers have been hesitant to do. Number one, they have to be able to agree that they're going to take back some contracts that are going to go into 23. because if they were right now, they're looking at having only Anthony Davis being the only player under contract for 23 and 24. And the idea that they have probably $75 million in cap space after allowing for the 12 roster spots that they've got to fill. So that's one option that the Lakers may decide that they're going to do that. They may decide that we're not going to move on post LeBron like the Rockets and other teams have.
Here's the other thing we have to be very careful of. Okay, I'm hearing this stuff from Indiana. I don't know why I keep hearing Indiana, driving me nuts. This leak that came out about DeRozan and the deal was about the close or whatever, which is complete and utter garbage.
It is.
I'm
garbage.
like, first of all, I'm going to make it clear again. I don't know if I've said it on here enough, but I've said it definitely on Lakers Ball. Greg Popovich would have never traded DeRozan to LA. Get that through your head.
But he was a free
agent.
He was a free agent.
Yeah, but he's not going to – he wouldn't have signed for the MLE. He wanted his money too.
Yeah.
But he made comments suggesting that.
He signed for $26 million. The Lakers could only offer
because nobody else would want to
$16
sign him for that much at that point in time because they didn't realize he had still that much left in the tank. But he did say in interviews that he was contemplating strongly going over to the Lakers for the MLE. I'm just quoting what he said.
Yeah, well, I was contemplating doing a U-turn while a semi was coming too, and I didn't do it.
I'm just telling you what was said.
The point is, I don't believe anything. See, that's the beauty of being me. The beauty of being me every day is I don't believe anything until proof comes, right? The DeRozan thing's driving me nuts.
When you see it.
It's been driving me nuts because Greg Popovich, the reason why I don't like him is because he stuck his nose in Laker business. Yeah. He got mad that we outsmarted him, the league, getting Pau Gasol, going to 3 finals. He knew it cost him at least a couple titles, right? So I get it. There's a competitive thing there. There's a disdain there. Yeah, Indiana's the other one. You think Pritchard's going to help the Lakers? Come on, people. You got to pay attention.
He would help the Lakers if
he would help the Lakers to help him.
$100 in contracts.
Okay, the problem is Brogdon is extremely talented, but he's always injured. We cannot get any more injury-prone players in this summer.
Yeah, but you're not going to get Halliburton.
You're not going to get players. You're not going to get a fully healthy superstar. You have to gamble on some aspect of a player. And the problem with DeRozan to start with is he's not a floor stretcher. He's a guy who sits in the same areas that LeBron and AD.
I think we need to give credit to Billy Donovan for that one, by the way, because I was thinking to myself, I didn't think DeRozan was going to do what he did.
Buddy Hield was the genuine article that we probably should have taken because he fit the mold that we really needed, which was a volume shooter that nobody is going to leave open ever. Right now,
let me get Jamie in here because I want to make
all of our guys are able to be left open because none of them are trustworthy.
Well, Jamie has been very patient. Again, it's the Lakers fast break. Lakers unfortunately lose 124-104. You're hearing all of this, my friend. I mean, you're hearing it for the sides as far as I just see what has been reported. Joe's not seeing anything unless he actually believes it, and he's believing nothing right now. So I want to hear your thoughts on this. Malcolm Brogdon, if we were able to go after him, because unfortunately he was not eligible to be traded until after the season. I think he'd be a great addition to the team, but unfortunately, like you guys are saying, he is an oft-injured player since his Rookie of the Year campaign.
He has a 3-year contract. That's the problem.
Since his Rookie of the Year campaign, he's been oft-injured. So I want to hear your thoughts on this, my friend. Which direction do you think the Lakers should go?
Which direction do I think the Lakers should go, or which?
Well, tanking is not going to help us either. So,
which direction do you think? Do I think the Lakers will go? Because those are two very different things. I think the Lakers should probably not try and trade Westbrook because it's going to require them to move either Reeves or their draft picks.
Well, okay, let's talk about Austin Reeves. I said this on the last show. On a team right now, let's say he's on the Brooklyn Nets, or let's say the Phoenix Suns or the Golden State Warriors. Is he
even
really
last year's
that?
Laker team?
Yeah, he's a rotational player on a bad team. Is he a rotational player on a good team?
He's a bench player on a championship team.
3/5 of our starting
13th, 14th guy on a championship team.
3/5 of our starting lineup aren't rotational players on a good team.
I know.
That's where the Lakers are at.
That's our problem.
And then it doesn't get any better when you go to the bench. Most of the rotational guys we have are waiver wire pickups.
Yeah.
Or
I cannot. Okay, so
or,
on that note, Wenyan Gabriel again. Okay, I see these things from FeedSpot on these other shows, and I'm going to bag on these other shows when I can. If I see another thing about how we should lock up Wenyan Gabriel, like the Lakers Lounge is suggesting, I see that headline. I hope they were being facetious. I don't take the time to listen to their show because I think it's not exactly my cup of tea. But I will say again, if you're telling me that and you want to actually sign him for an extended period of time, you're crazy. There's a reason why this guy's been on 6 NBA teams in 3 years.
Same with Stanley Johnson. Same with Avery Bradley.
So Gerald,
majority of the
Laker player you would go after?
The majority
are not on the Lakers right now.
Who's the number one target? What is the single biggest player that the Lakers need to add next year?
Well, first of all, they need to go ahead and see if they can do something with that Russell Westbrook contract.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Let's say that. Forget the Russell. Let's say we even stretch him if we can't get a good deal.
You got to see who
do we go after? Who do we use our 2 draft picks and all of our?
Well, we don't necessarily have to use the 2 draft picks because you got to remember that is an expiring contract with Russell.
LeBron James is not going to sign an extension if you're not going to use those draft picks.
Well, who says we are going to? LeBron James, you see where he's at. You're so fixated on the LeBron James extension. Is that really the right answer?
Yes, it is. That's what LeBron says. That's what the Lakers
they are.
Okay, what LeBron says. So there you go. Again,
the Lakers and LeBron are attached at the hip. They're attached at the hip until he decides to move on. He, not the Lakers.
How's he going to sign an extension and play with his son?
No.
He just signed a 2-year extension with a player option for the second year.
His son
that locks him up for next year and 22-23.
All right, go ahead, Jamie. We're all please.
No,
we can just go back.
Who is the main target for each one of us? Who is the main target that should be the priority that one player the Lakers need to add that's going to be the most important player they can add?
I would say it's more than one player. Start getting rotational players that can help you on both ends of the floor.
You got to have somebody who's got some star power.
See, you had this approach of getting a superstar.
I'm not talking about a superstar. I'm talking about a starter, a legitimate NBA starter.
I just said rotational players.
Like
rotational players, you're your starters. I'm talking about a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, a player, 7th player.
I say we
getting
need
quality rotational players. That's part of your starting lineup.
Grant, is it Buddy Hield? Is it who's your pick?
It's not Buddy Hield. For me personally.
Yeah. Who's your pick?
It would have to be somebody who's attainable, or is this my dream scenario?
No, attainable.
Attainable.
There's a lot of guys that have been talked about in the trade market.
Miles Turner.
Okay. That's a good pick.
I feel like he's within reason of getting.
I love it.
I don't think Indy's going to move him till the trade deadline.
He's also an often injured player.
Yeah, but that's
never had a major injuries. He's never had an ACL or MCL or.
You got to roll the dice on some level. There's no player that's immune from
exactly.
You're not going to get a player who's immune from
So,
injury.
Gerald, who's your player? Jamie says Miles Turner. Who are you choosing?
I would talk about getting a series of
names
players
out there.
If you're looking for the home run, you're not going to get it. And the Lakers are looking.
Miles Turner's not a home run. He's a good, solid double, but he's not a home run. LeBron James is a home run. Anthony Davis is a home run. Miles Turner.
Joe, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Joe. You raised your hand in class.
You want LeBron to be in a Laker uniform doing LeBron things, right?
Yes.
Right.
You're going to have to find shooters, guys, that can play D.
Right.
Miles Turner's high 30s,
he's an average 3-point shooter.
5 threes a game.
An NBA average 3-point shooter.
Second best shot blocker in the league.
You remember that nice guy that put up that elaborate response, Gerald, that you read?
Yes.
That guy nailed it. He nailed exactly who LeBron is, what he is, what's the difference between him and the other greats. LeBron is a distributor who just happens to have all-time great offensive skills.
But you need targets to go ahead and do
right.
So who's your target? Who's your target?
I don't know any right now at this moment looking at the free agent list this summer that would.
This is a weak free agent class.
We're talking about trades more than free agents because we don't
trades.
Have,
the Indiana trade
are only MLE for months.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk. Let's pick one spot. Okay. let's say it's Indiana. Let's say Pritchard forgives everybody for what happened before and we're ready to rock and roll. Okay, let's just say that. Now, what does Indiana want to do? They want to unload the Turner and the Brogdon contracts, correct? Do they?
They want to unload Brogdon and Heels contracts because that's $108 million over 3 years.
Okay, so now the Lakers
they'll take Russ's $47 million.
Turner, they were once deciding. Remember, Turner and Sabonis, they were deciding exactly whether they liked them both together or they were going to go
still
ahead
interested
and
in moving Turner.
They've already committed that by already saying, you know what, go Sabonis to Sacramento. So now they're in the fact where they're stuck with Turner. Whether that could
they have three options.
Yeah,
this is 3 options. The Lakers either trade Westbrook and attach first-round picks to just get rid of him. The second is let him stay and play out the contract.
That's
number 3. Right, exactly. Number 3 is the Lakers understanding that. Well, actually, there's 4. I'll get to the one that the fourth.
Well,
one
it is an option if you think that you could go ahead and get something at the trade deadline next year.
Okay, they're going to have to make a decision on what they're going to have to take. They're going to have to know that they're going to have to pay more money after the end of next year. It's either that or you got to stretch Westbrook and pay that money anyways.
You're not.
So you might as well get talent to play. Yeah. So they have to get players that the other team needs to unload for financial purposes that have talent, but because their contracts are so long, they're like, we got to somehow unload this. Well, we'll take Westbrook because his contract runs out in 9 months, and then we got to eat another 2 years after that. And that's essentially what it has to be.
Just putting this out there, the best deals are not going to be in the summer for Westbrook. The best deals are going to be at the trade deadline for Russell Westbrook, because then we'll know which teams are bad and want to unload as far as players and get rid of that cash on their cap. That's when you really know. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I want to see him gone in the summer, but there's a real possibility that he may be on the team until February.
No, he's
but
not.
He will not get past the trade deadline.
Yes,
he will not get past.
It won't happen because you saw what happened. One of the reasons that we didn't make trades at the deadline.
It can happen. It can happen.
It won't happen, Gerald. The logic behind it doesn't make sense because
it doesn't make sense. $47 million.
You don't go in with a guy who's basically
it does make sense, Tom.
And keep him for half a year.
Absolutely, Tom. It does make sense. These teams don't know where they will be come 9 months from now.
It's a smart move, but they're not going to do it. They can't afford to because they'll be 20 and 40 by then. It makes
perfect sense. I would rather see him gone in the summer. I'm not dissuading what you're saying. Tom, you're on mute. I'm not dissuading what you're saying, Tom. I would rather see him gone this summer. I'm just telling you, these teams all have the hope of going to a world championship right now in the summer. In February, realism hits in and exactly where they're standing. That's the problem.
But they can't afford to do that. They can't afford to do that because they will be playing exactly how they're playing right now next year.
Yeah, for an Orlando, you already know where your future lies, at least short term. But there are teams right now in that middle that don't know if they're going to go up or
Russell
down.
Westbrook and sign an extension
February.
if Russ is on this team. That's not going to happen.
No,
anything can happen. We've seen
if it was Jerry Reinsdorf who was the owner, I'd say yes. If it was Donald Sterling, yes. But they cannot afford to take that chance. No, because it's just they can't. They'd be wasting another year. They can't go into the All-Star. They can't come out of the All-Star break 20 and 40. They can't. And that's exactly what they'll be.
I didn't say that. I'm just telling you it's a real possibility because there's $47 million right there that could come off someone's cap.
Yeah,
You're hoping that you can get rid of it in the summer.
Most teams are going to want to do that in the summertime.
Most teams think they're going to go ahead and win the NBA championship in the summertime.
They're going to have to risk.
You want to trade them. That's when you want to
have to risk. They're going to have to risk again. The whole Brogdon, even Miles Turner. Those guys are always injured, right?
You guys, okay, Jamie. Let me ask you this, Jamie, because I want Jamie to. He's not been part of this as much as I would like. Jamie, I really want to ask you this, my friend.
Yeah.
When it comes right to it, they've been talking all about Indiana. Let's say the Indiana situation and their season, how much has gone off the food chain here this year. Let's say that happened in a year where either John Wall or Russell Westbrook, their expiring contracts were coming off this summer instead of next summer. you think Indiana might have made an exception there? Do you think other teams like Sacramento or other teams might have been more apt to go ahead and make a change there at the trade deadline?
After we won the championship and traded away key parts of that team, I kind of gave up on predicting what the Lakers are going to do, because we have just consistently given up draft picks and to unload players who helped us win games for players who have either spurned.
Well, we're now paying for the sins of what we got.
Hold on. Let me try to get a sentence out.
Sorry. Go ahead.
We have a track record of over the last 3 or 4 seasons of dumping picks and players for lesser talent that's unproven, that hasn't gone all the way to the NBA Finals on another team, even if they're role players, for guys that had flashier stats, right? Trez last season, Westbrook this season, Schroeder along with Trez last season, and we gift draft picks to do it. So this team does not value draft picks. That's proven. That's not. We talk about it as if it's worth something to the team, but it's not. It's just something to toss in to make it happen, right? So I've given up a long time ago on trying to figure out what motivates Rob to make some of these picks, or rather trades, because I wouldn't have made any of them. So to that, I also predicted that we wouldn't make any trades at the trade deadline this season, even though I've kind of really truthfully hoped we would, because we were so terrible. And we didn't, and now we're still terrible. So this is the Lakers, and they're gonna make a splash move. If I was Rob, I would not attach draft picks for a John Wall trade. I would say straight up, or go find somebody else.
Agreed.
But he won't. So that's the problem there. Same with like a Brogdon or a Turner deal. If Indy wants to, that's the problem with Rob, is he doesn't play hard. He just plays get it done. And those are 2 different games. Anybody can play get it done. You just throw good resources away to get it done. But if you want to play the game right, you play it like how OKC plays the game. You play it how the Spurs play the game. You play it smart. And Rob doesn't play it smart. He plays, I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking, because there is almost no Laker future at this point beyond 2025. The Laker future is, what has AD got left? And the answer is not a resoundingly awesome one. So this is the direction the Lakers are heading. And whatever Band-Aid move we make this summer is going to be that. It's going to be we kind of didn't really realize how bad this would be with 3 guys making $40 million plus and 87 veteran minimum contracts, or waiver wire 2-way, whatever you want to call them, guys. I can't believe that didn't work. Who saw that coming? So, I don't, we can pick a player, we can pick a team, we can do this whole little game, but the fact of the matter is that you got to look at it from the perspective of Rob Polinka, which is difficult to do, because Rob is going to first call AD and LeBron and be like, well, what do you guys think? Rather than have a direction that he wants to go in, that the team needs to go in. And that is the problem. You can blame Frank for this mess all you want. You can blame LeBron and AD or Russ. You can put a lot of blame on Russ's sort of,
don't leave Jeannie out.
No, oh, trust me. No, cheapness has become a big issue.
You got her full
for the most
share.
popular sports franchise on planet Earth, next to the Yankees and Man United. So, there's got to be, the problem isn't the players, the problem is the philosophy. And until the philosophy changes, this is where we're going. We're not going in another direction. We're going to keep, building bad buildings on top. We're going to keep building flashy buildings on top of a bad foundation. And so eventually those buildings are going to fall and crumble because the foundation isn't going to last. And that's just how things work.
Before we head on out, Joe?
Once we get whatever happens with all these acquisitions, the most important part is we have to have AD healthy next year.
Yes.
If he's not healthy next year, this is all a moot point.
Yep.
That is my main worry actually right now. All this stuff about the future, because we're still the Lakers. If AD is healthy, let's say this has been an anomaly. Blame it on COVID. Blame it on short seasons, short off seasons, whatever. Let's be positive and say that's what it was. if he comes back healthy next year and plays like 2020 AD, then I think things will be a little bit easier to figure out. Because now, even if they don't win it next year, at least there's some positive there. You got a 29-year-old, he's still young, 29-year-old superstar who you've got for at least 4 more years to be the mainstay of your franchise, which means if LeBron decides to leave in 2 years to go play with his kid, then, that opens up some things for us. And we have AD as the pillar. And then, some other superstar will come in because it always happens. So all this stuff going on right now, it's a lot of stuff. Is Genie going to stink? Is Rob going to stink? Is Vogel's replacement going to stink? Is AD not going to stink? Like every question is
LeBron washed?
I don't think LeBron is washed. He is an anomaly only next to Tom Brady. And in a lot of ways, I think it's a little harder to be this effective as a basketball player in the professional, because the rules in football, all Brady has to do is sit back there, just read the defense, which is what he's great at, and pass the ball before he gets hit. Right? LeBron has to go back and forth. That play that he had where he,
blocked the shot and made the layup.
Yeah, that was you can't. LeBron can't do that for 48 minutes anymore, right? He can't do that year in and year out anymore.
No.
That's maybe the decrease in his game, but other than that, he is still very effective. And like our guest who wrote the review on YouTube, he said it best. You have to have 3 shooters who can play defense next year, whoever they are, wherever we get them. They have to be shooters who can play defense, at least team defense. And then you'll have AD, who he has regressed on the perimeter, but at least he could be our defensive anchor and, drop 25 points a game. That's it, guys. That's the answer. There is no other answer. It has to be that if we're to win a championship again with LeBron as the 1 and AD as the 1A.
I agree with that.
If it's one thing LeBron has proven, as Robbie's saying in the comments, thank you so much for the comments, Robbie. Yeah, definitely he is not washed. Those people out there that were loving to go ahead and, it was a year ago, say that he was washed, and earlier this year at times saying he was washed. Well, you know what? He's proven that he is not washed. Today he had a substandard game, but my gosh, the guy has had so much on his back ever since the AD went down that, a lot is so much on him. He can only do so much at this point in time.
He's been playing on one knee for over a month.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll definitely see what happens there. But once again, the Lakers unfortunately fall.
He needs to go to Germany after the season. Go to Germany.
Yeah. Yes.
124
to 104. We'll be back on Friday. Jamie and Sean and I are going to try and get in some Western and Eastern Conference shows that are covering those conferences before the playoffs. So we'll take a look at that. But I think we're going to try and see if we can schedule it tomorrow night or maybe on Sunday. So we'll wait and see. But definitely going to be back here on Friday night after the game. Thinking about 9 p.m. Pacific due to scheduling issues that I have on my end. So it's going to be about 9 p.m. Pacific. So just letting you know that ahead of time. But that will be against Toronto. Yes, and you saw how that worked the first time, but we'll wait and see. They have a back-to-back with Toronto and Washington. But LakerTom,
Joe, you're
Jamie Sweet, and Joe Soro are laughing it up right here because they want to keep it kind of positive.
We're like the Laker bench. Laker bench. It's
I'm not laughing inside.
Hey,
Gerald.
we're grateful to you, Robbie. Thank you so much to you and everybody out there for the appreciation that you give us. Thank you for watching and also listening. Want to give a big shout out to Mariface, who gave us a big heart, and also as well, Robbie and JC for the thumbs up. But LakerTom, I'll give you the final word before we head on out.
Well, I'll answer the question that I tried to get everybody else to answer. I love Jamie's answer of Miles Turner because I think that's a move that involves a change in direction of the strategy of the Lakers and a need to protect LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I would add to that I would add a second player to that list that falls in the same category, which is a stretch 5 center who can also protect the rim, and that's Christian Wood. Then I think that the other option that the Lakers should seriously look at, especially if they're able to, if they decide to waive and stretch Russ, or if they are able to trade him without having to give up a pick, is the Detroit Pistons want 2 first-round picks for Jeremy Grant. And Jeremy Grant at 6'8", 225 is exactly a 3-and-D player that the Lakers need with size. He could be the wing, the 3, the small forward who chases the other scoring wings around, allows LeBron to stay at the 4 and AD to stay at the 5. But those are the kinds of players that we need to add to the lineup. They aren't superstars. They don't make over $20 million, but they fall into that category where they're players, they're starters who are championship caliber starters on a championship team. And that's what this team needs. When you go back to look at what was successful about the championship team is we played small ball, but we played it on steroids because we had Markieff Morris, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis as your 3 bigs. We can still play that type of style, but I think now as LeBron is getting older and AD is showing injury things, I think it's really important that everything that we focus on is getting another big in there, whether they're a 3-and-D forward or a 3-and-D center. That's exactly the direction that the Lakers have to go, and they need to get starter quality players that would start on any championship team.
I think you also need to think
about
at
least 2 more players like that.
Well, perimeter defense also needs to be a high priority as well, because that's something
not as high a priority as getting one more good big man who can really play.
We'll see.
No, just look at what's killing us now.
Our perimeter defense.
You can win with guards that hassle and harass, but we are getting killed because we don't have size.
Well, we don't have size and we don't have defense on the perimeter. We don't have size in the middle. So it's a double-edged sword.
Well, count how many of those points are being scored on the perimeter are being scored because we don't have any rim protection.
We also don't rotate. It's a myriad of problems, LakerTom. It's a myriad of problems.
But the problems are all related. It's just like your body. They're all related. You do something with your knee and that affects your thigh. That affects your hip. It's all connected. Perimeter defense, interior defense is all connected.
Again, I said it from the beginning. The exterior defense and perimeter was really poor substandard, and that's also been a major issue.
Yeah, and I can go back and give you about 50 articles written by every single person today who's complaining about our perimeter defense, complaining about Dennis Schroeder and KCP and all of the times that they get blown by.
Well, I could also give you a lot of articles that say the same thing that I do as well. Yeah. Again, the arguments are there. The Lakers have holes everywhere. So whether you say it's a perimeter defense or
they had rim protection. The last 2 years they had rim protection. That was the main reason. The big difference why we don't have a better defense this year is totally related to the rim protection
and the perimeter defense as well. But again, it's the Lakers losing 124 to 104. I'll tell you what, we got a great time. Great argument indeed. The Lakers have issues. If they don't address any of them during the offseason, I'm sure we'll be saying the same thing as well. But
you guys are complicating it, okay? 2 of the guys that were supposed to be stars with LeBron, one is not there. The other is non-existent. Of course, this is going to look like this. If Westbrook's playing like he did in the last half of last year, and if AD is there, we're not even having this discussion. I mean, let's just keep it simple, guys. I think we're complicated.
I think there's more issues than that.
We're talking about there's this conspiracy where Jeannie doesn't want to spend any money, or how do you say
they're all factors in this. That's all.
I just don't think anyone thought Russell Westbrook would be like this. I know I didn't. I mean, I knew he wouldn't be able to shoot. I knew he wouldn't be able to shoot, but I didn't know he would.
I did. That I'll leave it at that.
You got to do this. Gerald, you got to do Rob Van Dam style.
Oh, no. I got to do, in honor of Scott Hall, I got to do the arms out deal.
But that's pointing to somebody else. So I have to do it for you. Hold on. Let me do it.
There you go. Right there.
There you go. Hold on.
Yes, absolutely.
Is that good?
Right.
Gerald's going to ride on his tombstone.
There, this guy.
This
guy right here.
That's right. But yes, we'll do a survey sometime down the road.
I'm gonna freeze frame your picture right now and put "he told us," and then
that's right. He told us indeed. But once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter, LakersFastBreak at yahoo.com.
You think I'm lying? I'm doing it.
Down below at LakerTom on Twitter. that's Joe Soro 05, because there's 4 Joe Soros ahead of him on the food chain on Twitter.
They're
Joe
all in
Soro
Africa
5.
too, by the way.
Yes, Joe Soro 5 on Twitter. Jamie Sweet, you can get him at Lakerholics.com.
Send out some invitations to Joe Soro 1 and 2
Can I
and
do
3.
the pitches for your own sites without being interrupted, please? Be part of the conversation today at Lakerholics.com. Also, as well, please check out the Game Time conversation at LakersBall.com. I'm trying to help all of you guys out at the same time. Don't interrupt me.
I don't need no help from you. I'm kidding.
So I see during that Game Time chat at LakersBall.com. But once again, last pitch. But once again, it is the Lakers falling 124-104. We will definitely be back Friday night. I'm thinking 9 p.m. Pacific, just to let everybody know, because again, scheduling issues, and I do apologize in advance for that. But please go ahead and check out our game, check out our watch, then check out our game time summary. Then we'll go ahead and talk about the Toronto Raptors as the Lakers head into Toronto to go ahead and face off against them. And then, so first game of back-to-back will also be here Saturday as the team faces off against the Washington Wizards in the rematch for the Wizards. So we'll see what happens there. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Been incredible out there on Facebook. So many viewers. We truly appreciate it. Plus also as well, YouTube, our biggest numbers yet for our last show. We just truly appreciate it. Our audio podcast, if you hear us on audio, we've got all the love for you as well. So please go ahead and join us Friday and Saturday right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.